Everything old is new again. It's certainly true with cereal. Except for some new cereals are also old. And then if you let those cereals sit out for a while, your new old cereal will be old. But maybe newly old. It's a cycle. Welcome to the Empty Bowl, a meditative podcast about cereal. My name is Justin McElroy, and I'm a cereal enthusiast.
And my name is Dan Goubert, and I'm sort of a cereal jockey, both in the sense that I will tame a wild cereal and ride it into the sunset, and also recite a joke from a months-old movie that was never really funny in the first place.
Listen, Dan, whatever it takes to get that mainstream recognition, I'm in favor.
Mm-hmm. The Gen Alphabet's audience.
We are going to do news. We are going to do some reviews. We're going to talk about some of your thoughts on cereal. We're going to probably rank some cereals. I know our thing. I know how we do it.
Mm-hmm. The old 1, 2, 3.
The old 1, 2, 3 punch. First off, Dan, I want to talk about the news. Now, I'm seeing this cereal, this top story. Am I right in thinking this is not the first time this guy has been Crunchable?
You know, it really does feel like we've had the Grinch cereal before, but I can't really seem to find one unless I'm not looking in the right places.
No, I think the only thing you know what? I might be conflating that Elf cereal with this, but like it just feels a little bit like the Berenstain Bears or the Mandela effect, where like I feel like I could, if you asked me to describe the Grinch cereal, I almost feel like I could, but no, I don't. I think it's a false memory.
He's been on cereal boxes before. He's been on boxes of Chex and like Kellogg's Apple Jacks to promote some of his movies, but this is the first time that I think we're getting a dedicated Grinch cereal, with the word dedicated being used very loosely here because it looks like hot garbage.
Yeah.
It looks like all the things they would describe the Grinch as in the holiday special.
You know, it's really sad that like I feel like there's so many areas where, you know, it just wouldn't be dignified to bring a beloved character into a new media without some sort of like care or thought. But like, I feel like cereal's the last bastion of just really lazy stuff, just like really lazy translations of things. You could still be really, really lazy in cereal creation, and no one's gonna get on your case about it.
This really is par for the course for General Mills because I mean the Elf cereal was kind of relevant. It was maple flavored, but then you had the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cereal that was just like Cocoa Puffs, and now you've got the Grinch cereal that is just a vanilla cereal with heart-shaped Marbits. It's like a vanilla green corn puffed cereal with these sort of pink Marbits.
It's brutal.
I like the idea of a pink Marbit, a heart Marbit. I mean, they're kind of probably just pulling those from Lucky Charms, I have to imagine, but at least it's thematically relevant. And that's about the lowest bar you can possibly clear for a licensed cereal, is to have themed marshmallows.
I mean, it's not even like an apple thing. It's just green, vanilla, pink hearts. It's really a bummer.
But I mean, like, I guess if you were to design a Grinch cereal, what would you make it taste like?
Well, I will say this for starters. It is a very Grinchy thing to phone this in.
Yeah.
It is extremely joyless. So maybe that is keeping in, you know what I would do, Dan, and you're gonna, I think I would make it matcha. I'd make it matcha because that would really get people talking. That if you said there's a matcha cereal and it's the Grinch, I feel like that would break through on social in a big, big way.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think kids would react to a matcha cereal, though?
Yeah, I mean, the same way they're going to react to this, which is just sad. I don't know. You know what? Maybe a sour apple. That could have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it actually was a little bit, tiny bit tart, that could be fun.
Yeah, they got to use
like
that leftover Wicked cereal somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that'll be one to miss. Tell me about the Fruity Pebbles Pay Tour.
Yeah, so this isn't a cereal outright, but it is a fascinating stunt that the Fruity Pebbles crew pulled off this past month, where they visited 4 different Walmarts, mostly all in cities that had Rock in their name. So Rock Hill, South Carolina, Little Rock, Arkansas, Round Rock, Texas. And they put these little pop-ups outside, these very colorful stops where people could get Pebbles cereal by paying for it in rocks. And basically you could just come up with a handful, a pocketful, a bucketful of rocks and gravel and give it to them, and they would give you some Pebbles cereal in return. And there's been some silly product stunts done in the cereal world before, but this one at least is pretty fun. Obviously, I don't live in any of these states, so I didn't get to go to it.
I have been through Rock Hill a lot because it's right through there on the way to the beach. For us in West Virginia, we gotta go through Rock Hill.
My favorite part of this is that they specify on the Post website that following each pop-up event, all rocks will be collected and donated to local parks and recreation departments in participating cities. I'm just imagining them coming
dump these in a creek.
Just going up to a local park and they're like, hey, we have this bucket full of rocks for you. I don't know what you want to do with those, but that's all you now.
Yeah. This booth provided a fun sneak peek into the post-apocalyptic business that Dan and I will be running, where you can come and bring your rocks and other detritus, and we will trade it for cereal.
Yeah, I think we can have a real market on paying for cereal using other abstract things. You can pay for some Cheerios with some cheer, some Lucky Charms with your favorite Lucky Mementos, your favorite rabbit's foot. Or perhaps, help me think of a third one here.
Unbroken mirror.
Or maybe some grape nuts by paying with grapes and or nuts.
Yeah. Dan, this last story is just another example of a real inequity. a big inequity globally, and I can't believe it's being rubbed in our face yet again.
Yeah, so an ongoing theme for, I'd say, the past couple years is the fall of American cereal supremacy. And this is yet another example in that Kellogg's of Mexico is launching a Pingüinos cereal. And I don't know, are you familiar with Pingüinos?
So they look like Hostess cupcakes. If you're an American, you can imagine that exact design. That's what you're thinking of. But no, I've not had a Pingüino.
I don't think I have either, but they do look exactly like Hostess cupcakes, which are really good. So I imagine it would translate well to a cereal. It's interesting that back when they were doing the Hostess cereals, they never did a cupcakes one. So this is kind of filling the gap in a former cereal line that was never really explored. And it looks like this consists of swirled chocolate puffed pieces and marshmallows. I mean, I can't really say that this would necessarily taste better than any chocolate and Marbit cereal made in America, but wait a minute. Am I seeing here? Sorry, I didn't look closely enough. Are you seeing what else is in this cereal bowl?
Wait. Oh my God.
I thought that was just a box graphic,
Dan,
but
what? Dan, okay, folks, I don't know how to tell you this, but this looks like a chocolate chip that has swirled vanilla and chocolate, like a tiny mini swirl. Dan, am I right? It's a tiny mini swirled.
It does look like this is maybe the first cereal that I'm aware of to actually take our life hack to heart and put chocolate chips in a cereal.
I know it's very obvious to say it's been a strenuous time to be an American lately, but this just feels it feels cruel.
Yeah, we got a chip on our shoulder. They got chocolate chips in their bowl. Those look so good now. I'm trying to, they said it couldn't be done, but they're putting chocolate chips in a bowl here.
Yeah, this is one that I have no reason to I don't think this would come to America. I mean, I don't have any reason to. We don't have Pingüinos. I don't know.
I'm putting the Mexican candy lady on speed dial for this one.
Yeah, if she could. Oh boy, absolutely. Let me see. Okay, Dan. This is unprecedented. I am going to Google Translate to see if I can get an exact description of these pieces. Exactly what we're working with here.
And I'll check the Mexican Candy Lady website while we're here.
Do you love marinella Penguin. Well, it says penguin, but I'm assuming that's pinguino. I do know that much Spanish. Well, we have a surprise for you. The cupcake now made into cereal. Enjoy this delicious combination of marshmallows, chocolate chips, and penguin cereal, and indulge in a doubly delicious experience.
Crazy.
Whether alone or with others, this limited edition flavor is ideal for when you have that craving for something special and want to treat yourself to a delicious cereal.
Wow, confirmed.
Yeah.
Chocolate chips in the cereal.
And they're not just chocolate chips, they're like swirled chocolate chips. I want to eat them so bad.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way.
Appetite finds a way. Cereal finds a way.
I have been really excited to talk with you about some of this new crop of cereals. I think we've both picked up the 3 that you're going to be talking about today, and I want to start with Mexican hot chocolate cinnamon toast crunch and a brief story about this. My wife tried to buy cinnamon toast crunch for our daughter Cooper because she is an absolute cinnamon toast crunch fiend now, and goes through multiple bowls of the stuff like daily. And she actually ended up accidentally ordering this new variety of cinnamon toast crunch because it really does kind of bury the lead in the box. If you are not aware, it just kind of looks like a funky new design. I don't know. It's easy to mistake this new version, or at least it was in our household.
So what was the family verdict here?
Cooper didn't like it, but she's pretty fixated on cinnamon toast crunch. I think she just wasn't ready for the change. You know what, Dan? I want to hear your thoughts before I go out on a limb there, because I always want to defer to you.
Yeah, this was an interesting one because we didn't really know what to expect going into it. It was kind of 50-50 on whether it would just be like chocolate toast crunch, basically, or maybe some sort of adaptation of Cinefuego toast crunch that actually included like potent, spicy cinnamon. And it kind of falls somewhere between those. Definitely closer to just chocolate toast crunch because I didn't get any hot tamales level spice or anything from it. But it did feel like, again, the chocolate toast crunch base, the chocolate is by far the most predominant note there. But it did also feel like in the aftertaste that it had more, at least authentic cinnamon flavor than I would get from Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Not in like a spicy way, but definitely in more of like a spiced way, I would say.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't tell if it's okay. So part of the problem is that the spice that you would think of with like Mexican hot chocolate, your brain is kind of zeroing out some of that because it is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So it's like, I don't know if that's like you're almost not noticing it because you expect it with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know what I mean? So it feels like chocolate is the note that I was getting really hung up on. There is, though, like in the aftertaste does seem to be a bit of the, I don't know how to say it other than like more of the taste of raw cinnamon, like that slight bitter aftertaste that you might have with like if you get some on your fingers or something. Like it's a little bit more of that real cinnamon taste, I think, but it's very faint.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. It does feel like a very indulgent but no less pleasant cereal. I definitely enjoyed it, so I think it's an interesting step forward for the Cinnamon Toast Crunch brand that I would say in terms of the holiday Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereals, I would put it ahead of Apple Pie Toast Crunch and definitely ahead of the short-lived Cinnamon Star Crunch, but it doesn't quite live up to the high standards set by Sugar Cookie Toast Crunch, of course.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think the chocolate on the outside feels very luxurious. There's like a lot of it. It feels almost like dessert-like in that sense. I thought it was pretty heavy. I would have liked a bit of spice. Like I think that would have been a nice way to cut through it. But you know, overall, it's a nice change from Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But I do think that, I think the chocolate for me brings too much sweetness. I think that just makes it a little too heavy for me.
Yeah, it is pretty decadent. So you got to make sure you're expecting that going in.
Next up, caramel corn checks.
Caramel corn checks. Are you and I, have we talked about before, I say caramel, you say caramel? Is that what it is?
Yeah, this is the caramel. I'm like caramel. Now I'm overthinking it. I don't know how I say it anymore. Yes, caramel corn. You know, I think a caramel corn and maybe caramel. I think of two different things. Anyway, caramel corn checks. We were really anticipating this one, Dan. How did it land for you?
Yeah, this was definitely the most anticipated of the three cereals we're talking about today, just because, as we mentioned in our last episode, despite all the criticisms we levy towards corn-based cereals, I think in terms of checks, corn checks, because, you know, it actually wears its corn badge with pride, tends to work extremely well, especially as a base for limited edition Chex flavors when compared to something like a very light and modest rice-based Chex. And so the hype was very high for this one. I think it mostly lived up to my expectations, but I think it hit exactly on the trepidation that you expressed in our last episode also, where it kind of just feels like a lesser Honey Nut Chex. I don't know if you would agree with that.
Yeah, I that was definitely my. I mean, not. I don't know if lesser. I think there was the only distinction, and I did not have Honey Nut Chex to refer to, but I feel like it was a little bit crunchier. I feel like it was just a little bit more like more of a crunch, and slightly darker in flavor, like slightly, which I enjoy. It does feel though like more of a refinement of, for me when I'm thinking caramel corn, I'm thinking a salt note that isn't there that adds to like the moorishness of eating it, and I don't necessarily get that here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it kind of felt like a step back from the Honey Nut Chex, just in that Honey Nut Chex are very, very, like, heavily glazed, and the flavor is really heavily on there. And so you get a lot of those layers of not only, like, a caramelized base, but also the honey and the nut. And here it was kind of just that, like, ambiguous level of base, what I would call brown sweetness, or, like, browned sweetness, that being just, like, the caramelization effect of, like, toasted sugar. So it's very nice, but it's also a little bit one note compared to some of the more complex corn Chex we've had out there. Nevertheless, I think there's great potential for this to be used in like a holiday party mix or a Muddy Buddies, specially made for the holiday season. It's very, very versatile in that way, in its simplicity and like raw appeal. So I like it.
It's a good base cereal. I think it's I definitely will say also that I tried a bowl with milk, and that really took any remaining sort of like it really lowered the experience overall. Like as soon as it got a tiny bit mushy, you lost that. You lost like the hint of caramel flavor. Like it was not a great milk experience.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I ever really view Chex as a milk cereal, so to speak. Maybe that's just because of like the various snack and dessert associations with it, but I never really see it as one to be used in milk in the first place. So maybe that's for the best.
I actually have found myself reaching more for. I have a box of strawberry vanilla Chex, and I've actually found myself reaching more for that than I have for the caramel corn Chex.
No, I never tried that one. I don't even know if we talked about that one on the show. It's good.
You know, I was surprised to see it, Dan. When I saw it, I couldn't clock it, but you know, they release so many different varieties of Chex. That and Cheerios, I struggle to remember what is new and what is recycled and what have you. I will say something I really like about the strawberry vanilla Chex is that, first of all, it's a rice Chex, which is nice in contrast with the corn because it's a little bit lighter. So for the flavor that works, but the thing that I like is that the strawberry is a bit more that like slightly sharp, almost reminds me of like a dehydrated strawberry flavor. You know what I mean? That like that same sort of strawberry flavor you'd have in the dehydrated strawberries in a Special K or whatever, with that sharp strawberry flavor, and then the vanilla is a bit creamier and more muted. But the two together is a really nice interplay, like the sharp of the strawberry and the sweetness of the vanilla, like really, the two play really nicely together.
Okay, yeah, I gotta find that now.
Yeah, it's quite good. I look forward to seeing what you think about it, because I really dug it. I got it at the same time as the caramel corn, and it just it's out of nowhere was was my favorite. lastly, Dan, what did you think of Great Value Red Velvet Cake cereal? Another one in this string of Great Value, the Walmart in-house brand, creating cereals that I will say this, Dan, are just consistently let down by their own box art. I know Walmart knows where artists are. You know what I mean? Like, I know they know how to hire them. I don't know why they just refuse to make these cereal boxes look appealing. It feels almost like in the sense that it's just a detraction to the aesthetics of the world at this point. You know, we could just make the world a slightly more beautiful place if we just made the Great Value cereal box art a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe like the devil deal they had to make with Post, who I believe manufactures these cereals, where they're like, all right, we'll let you have access to our experimental cereal labs, but you can't make it look more creative than our Pebbles or whatever.
It has to look like government issued, like it's being dropped into a war zone or something.
Standardized lab sample.
Yeah.
But this one was interesting because we also speculated, or especially you did, that it was just going to be a chocolate cereal with nothing else, no bells and whistles on top of that. But like, I don't
even know if that was right, Dan.
I didn't get any chocolate flavor out of this at all. Rather, I think they were aiming for that like cream cheesy twang that we alluded to, because there's a little bit of that in this. It's subtle. It's mostly just feels like a sweet vanilla-ish cereal with a little bit of like, I don't know, more butteriness on top of that, but it was very interesting in a way that I was not expecting.
Yeah, so there's two things that I kind of dug. I like what you're talking about. It almost reminded me of like the amount of twang you'd had from like a cream cheese frosting that's like, but really heavy on the sugar, to where it's like you're almost not sure if it was made with butter or with cream cheese. Like that's the level of like very faint. I could have done with more of that, since if to me it's kind of the star of this thing that's making it kind of interesting. But I think the texture, I don't know. I can't directly compare it to anything, but there was something, man, about I just wanted to keep eating it. I don't know, man. It was like I kept going back for more of it, and I don't know exactly how to describe it. I don't know how to describe the texture exactly, but it's like, I don't know. I found it very...
It was almost like it was like brittle and crumbly, almost, in a sense. Like there was
almost like a almost remind me of the O's from Honey Bunches of O's, yeah, like in a texture sense, but not the same flavor. There's no honey there here, but like that kind of a ring. I don't know, man. It's I've surprised myself. I wouldn't say I love it. I could do with a bit more of what it's doing with like the cream cheese flavor or whatever, and I still think a Marbit in here would have been killer. I'd love to see like a cream cheese flavored Marbit. I think that'd be great.
Yeah,
but
or like
still,
a swirled chocolate chip or something in there.
Oh please, yeah. Let's add that to everything. Actually, as long as we're at it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but it stands above a lot of the other just vanilla or birthday cake cereals by having that additional twang factor. Mm-hmm. And also, yeah, that unique texture where it almost had like a micro crunch, like a crunch nested inside of a crunch. Its crunches all the way down here.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it didn't really have that X factor that makes me want to eat an entire family-sized box of it. So I feel like all three of these new cereals are like almost there. They're this close to like exceptional, but instead they're kind of just like good.
Yeah, it does feel, and you know what? Maybe that's why they didn't get the whole rollout. You know what I mean? It does kind of feel like, well, it's close enough. Well, we'll get it. We'll just sell what we have. Who cares?
Yeah.
Which makes it kind of sad in a way, because like I don't feel like any of these really come back. Kind of get like, remember the kettle corn? Like it's like, oh man, this is fantastic. It's just like Brigadoon. It just fades into the fog.
But you also tried, you told me this hot chocolate life, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a
nothing like
cereal.
Nothing like hot chocolate life.
Maybe one of the worst names for a cereal.
It is. I just wanted to say there is something about I really liked it, but I liked it in a specific nostalgic way where I think the whole hot cocoa thing is nonsense, right? And I think I've said this on this program many times before. You cannot have a hot cocoa flavored ice cream. You can't have a hot cocoa flavored cereal like it's served in cold milk. This cereal to me, and it's because of the texture of life, where you do have the graininess of the sugar. There is something about eating that chocolate flavored life and the graininess of the sugar that brings back the graininess of like the hot cocoa mix. Like when you would get the hot cocoa mix stuck on the spoon, or there'd be a little bit on the rim of your glass as it dried out or whatever, and there was like a grainy sort of texture to it. Or if you ever like tried to mix hot cocoa powder into just like cold milk to try to like rig your own chocolate milk, and it never really worked the way you wanted it to with hot cocoa mix, but that kind of grainy sugary texture to it, it kind of reminded me of hot cocoa in that one specific sense. I thought this is the first cereal where I was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of, even though it is advertised as nothing like hot cocoa, it is in some senses like hot cocoa.
So, okay, final question being then, if you were to have a mug of hot chocolate, which would you top it with? Mexican hot chocolate cinnamon toast crunch, or nothing like hot cocoa life?
I think the Mexican hot cocoa toast crunch, like, oh man, some of that with like a bit of alcoholic whipped cream on the top, and then oh boy, yeah, that would be great. Right. I think that would be a nice topping. That almost feels like a better application of this, like put it in a snack mix with some pretzels and M&Ms or something.
Yeah, it's a large buy-in for a big box.
I asked last week, we were talking about a layered cereal treat and like replicating cereals or desserts with layered cereal marshmallow treat bars, and we asked you for your suggestions. One came in from Michael Marsh. How about tiramisu, the late Twinkie cereal as the ladyfinger base, dulce de leche toast crunch standing in for the mascarpone custard layer, and dash as the espresso layer? Oh
yeah, you got some deep cuts there, Michael. You really picked some obscure cereals, and I think it works really well.
I adore the fact that the little Twinkies cereal will look like tiny ladyfingers, so that is aesthetically for me huge. Dulce de leche toast crunch and dash are really S-tier bowls. I mean, out of nowhere, man. Really,
Michael's just flexing his cereal IQ here.
Really is going out to the boneyard, but like honestly, respect, because like that would be a really great context in which to use dash, which I did not love back when we first had it, but I think that might be a great use of dash. LFXT says a baked Alaska with Oreo O's at the bottom, a vanilla flavored variant of Kellogg's icy cereals for the ice cream in the middle. Can't just say that because that's it's like amazing. I mean, yeah, like you can't just wish that into existence. That'd be absolutely astounding.
But that basically describes, I think, the Elf on the Shelf cereal, because it had the mouth cooling effect and vanilla flavor.
What? Yeah, you could use that. Yeah, with crushed and lightly roasted Squishmallows cereal on top for the meringue. I don't think anybody's ever roasted Marbits, but I think that's an absolutely astounding idea.
Yeah,
I would love to try it.
I do think I tried one time making a s'more using Lucky Charms marshmallows, and I just put them all in like a pan, and it kind of like set off my smoke detector.
Here's a last one for Not Milk. Hey guys, make a Golden Grams treat. Spread a layer of raspberry jam on top. Take almond honey bunches of oats and lightly crush, press into jam layer raspberry bars. Just thought it up. I'll make it this weekend. Love the show. That is fantastic. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, they really outthought all of us here.
Yeah, those are great. Dan, do you remember when we used to rank cereals?
I do remember a time long, long ago. The masses are crying out. They need to know.
They need to know what are the best cereals ever, because we're trying to rank all of them, but honestly, if we don't pick up the pace a little bit, I'm worried they'll release them faster than we can rank them, and that would be just the height of futility, Dan. We would never dig out of that.
Yeah, the people need to know whether there's a cereal better than Cap'n Crunch or a cereal worse than Shopkins Cutie O's. And yes. I want to know how long it's been since the top and bottom have changed rankings. It has to have been at least like 6 months at this point.
It's been a while. We have rated, though, 47 cereals, which I love. I love that we're about to pass a nice clean 50 here. Let's say we've got, how many cereals? 937 cereals I'm going to go to my random number generator. I'm going to ask it for a random number. And it has chosen 832. 832 is Sugar Jets from General Mills, name later shortened to Jets. This is not a cereal I have any familiarity with, but that does not get us out of ranking it, as we know. I'm looking at a Jet cereal commercial here with Rocky J. Squirrel.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a feel for what this actually is.
Yeah.
Okay, it was originally called Sugar Smiles cereal, according to Mr. Breakfast, and Sugar Smiles was a combination of sugar-coated Kix cereal and plain Wheaties flakes. But within a year, the Wheaties flakes were removed from the cereal, and the name was changed to Sugar Jets. So it sounds like you're describing Kix cereal at this point.
Yeah. The ad that I have found here says Sugar Jets with shapes from space are just for boys. so it's just to give boys jet charged energy, apparently. But that is how they are advertised. So sorry to all non-boys. Sugar Jets are not for you.
Yeah, so it looks like I guess it's Kix that came in different shapes, including a star, an aircraft, and a ring, as well as the actual puffs. So it presumably, well, this was a sugar toasted oat cereal as opposed to Kix cereal, so maybe it had a more hearty factor to it that we're not immediately taking into account.
Yeah. You know, I think Kix are okay, but the ad was kind of sexist. My gut is telling me like 35. A new 35. Let Quaker Puff Wheat Sparkies go down and let Sugar Jets go in there after Corny Snaps, but before Wheat Sparkies.
What was the deal with Corny Snaps again?
What?
What was the deal with Corny Snaps again?
I don't know. We really need to link that one.
Yeah, Corny Snaps, a ready sweetened corn and oat cereal that looks like it took the form of little squiggles. I think I like the mascot of Corny Snaps better, so I'm inclined to agree with you here.
Okay. I'm going to link this to the... Well, I don't want to use an eBay listing to link to. This seems very transient. Okay, so we will put... right here. Sugar Jets for boys. Okay, well, in bold, Sugar Jets.
Are you noticing that we've only put it 2 spots above Harmony, a cereal for women?
What do we learn about ourselves, Dan? What are we learning about the empty bowl? What's in there? What's in that empty bowl reflection? Let's see, another random number. Okay, 267. That's gonna be Crunchy Corn Bran by Quaker Oats.
How many of these things have they made, man?
I know, they've made a lot. Let me see. Sometimes... Okay, so these are still... This looks like corn squares.
Crunchy... I mean...
It looks like what they would call Crunchy Corn Bran, we would call corn square, like wheat, you know.
Yes. This appears to be an alternate name for Corn Bran Crunch.
Right. Which is like the wheat one. Those big, hearty biscuits, but corn flavored.
I'm going to make a bold statement here. I love this cereal so much. It's so good. Because, like...
Dan, I'm sitting here, like, trying to rack my brain to think if this is still in production or not. Is it?
So here's the thing, is that
I would love to eat this cereal right now, because I love it, too.
At some point, though, they did change Corn Bran Crunch to Corn Crunch or Corn Squares because they removed the bran, which kind of like neutered a lot of the unique like heartiness about it that I really enjoyed, and it then fell off my radar after that. So since bran is in the name, I'm assuming we're assessing it on its original value rather than its worsened version.
Yeah. Yes, I think we're going with Corn Bran Crunch, and I think that this one it really excites me because there is a serialously piece about this cereal from 2016 declaring it may just be the most underrated cereal of all time.
And I agree. I agree with whoever wrote that article.
A young Dick with stars in his eyes. Where do you want to put this guy?
Oh boy, it's tough because like this is, I believe, in the same league as Country Corn Bran, a cereal which has gotten a lot of talk here, even though neither of us have tried it. We just really like the mascot and the idea that it represented because I believe it probably tasted a lot like Corn Bran Crunch. So I feel like it's gotta go really near to that one. I'm inclined to put it at like a new 12. It sounds like you don't agree.
No, I do. I almost, oh man, I can like taste this cereal in my mouth. I really want to eat. I really want to eat this cereal right now. It's all I can think about. I think the two of them have got to be paired. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. You think a new 12? Yeah.
I like the symbolic value of putting Country Corn Bran just ahead of it as both its progenitor and its like mythic ancestor.
Country Corn Bran, crunchy. I will never, ever let Country Corn Bran and Crunchy Corn Bran
be separated. Yeah.
Can you imagine us trying to find a cereal that kind of splits the uprights between those two?
That's what we in the cat shelter industry call a bonded pair.
Yeah. Okay, let's do another one here. Let me get my... Okay, 562. Oh, nice. Okay. Mermaid 2019.
Mermaid cereal. Oh, I vaguely remember this.
Oh man, it was hyper forgettable. Yes, okay. So it looked kind of like Apple Jacks made of stars and tasted like nothing. That was my review.
Yeah, I did like the box because like it's very rare that you see a female mascot on a box.
Yes, and the font they use is pretty. It's pretty colors. Like it looks nice. It's just the cereal didn't taste like much of anything.
Yeah. So.
And they could have done a lot more with Mermaid. I mean, Mermaid Fruit Loops had better colors and were prettier. I mean, you could have done some fun marshmallows. I don't know, whatever.
What if just hypothetically we put it at a new 35, putting it 2 ahead of Sugar Jets for boys, because this wasn't marketed as cereal for young girls, but I think that was definitely the target audience.
Okay.
So I think this is justice for our slate of putting Sugar Jets ahead of Harmony cereal.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So we want to put maybe a new 35.
Yeah, that seems right. Maybe move Corny Snaps down.
That's gotta be rough for Corny Snaps to get. This is a tough episode for Corny Snaps. Already got bumped down 2 for the 2 other corn cereals. Okay, Mermaid from 2019 is our new 35. We have 50 cereals. Let's do one more, Dan, because we didn't do any last time, and I don't know. I just want to.
Sounds right.
Feels right to me to do one more. 590. Yep, it's 590. I knew it. As soon as I saw the 5, the 9, and the 0, I was like, that's it. Okay. Dan, have you ever heard of Mr. Wonderful's Surprise Chocolate?
No, it sounds like a cereal from a movie that didn't really exist.
Yeah, or a Shark Tank product. Okay, here you go. Oh, thank you, Gabe, as always.
Oh, I think I've seen this before.
Yeah, now it's looking familiar. It looks... Oh, so this is the only cereal with a creamy filling, as according to the box. Mr. Wonderful's surprise was vitamin charged. Thank you so much. And it's a corn puff filled with frosting.
Now, this is interesting because I'm seeing an article from boingboing.net calling Mr. Wonderful's surprise the forbidden 1970s cereal. Because during its initial rollout and testing, it faced protests due to its staggering sugar content, but it still managed to release on a national scale anyway. Interesting. Apparently, it was opposed by nutritionists, dentists, dietitians, and citizen groups who petitioned General Mills to not release it nationally, which a General Mills spokesman replied and called the attack, quote, chasing ghosts with sledgehammers, end quote. Whatever that means. That's
Sure.
strange. Okay, this is a fascinating cereal. I mean, it sounds like it had lore that most cereals on this list can't claim, so I think it's gotta go pretty decently high at least.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of... it's got some ego, it's got some identity. I mean, it's not a Count Chocula. That's it. It's not a Count
Chocula, but it seems like more than a crazy cow.
It does. I mean, yeah, and you know what? Those are 3 chocolates in a row. I think that's a good... I think it would fit in nicely there. I think it would enjoy living there.
Nice little neighborhood that we're building there.
I am also gonna drop in a link to this image because otherwise, every time I see Mr. Wonderful's chocolate surprise, I'm gonna be trying to remember what the heck it was. So. But then, folks, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We hope you've gotten some relaxation out of it. I hope you've enjoyed yourself and aren't too hungry. Dan, is there anybody we owe gratitude to this week?
So we'd like to thank Chris Zabriskie for our opening theme of The Sun is scheduled to come out tomorrow, Bria Davis for creating our amazing podcast branding, as well as M. Loper and Samuel Rarden for designing our Empty Bowl merchandise. You know, as always, if you'd like to send us a message, you can do so at mail@bowl.rest. If you're interested in keeping up on the status of our cereal rankings, as we've just added 4 more, you can find the whole list at tinyurl.com/TEBrank. And finally, if you'd like to support the show and maybe even get some monthly bonus episodes, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/theemptybowl.
Folks, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to join us again during our next episode of The Empty Bowl. Until then, I am Justin McElroy, and as my friend Dan Goubert always says,
don't forget to drink some hot chocolate dusted by your favorite cold hot chocolate cereal.